this is Math Counts 2015 chapter competition. We're going to look at problems 21 through 24. What is the greatest possible absolute difference between the mean and the median of 5 single-digit positive integers? Express your answer as a common fraction. All right, so we have single-digit integers, and we want the biggest difference between the mean and the median. So we have two ways to look at it. We can do 1, 1, 1, 9, 9. That's one way to look at it, or 1, 1, 9, 9, 9. And the reason why we're looking at those two options is because we want the largest difference in the median and mean, and so that means we need to separate it, right? So let's go ahead and try both of them, and let's see what we get. So for this one, for the first one I should say, we have a median. I'm trying to get this smaller. We get a median of 1. Over here we have a median of 9. Not too bad so far. And now let's look at the mean. So the mean is going to be 18 plus 3. 18 plus 3 is 21. So you have 21 divided by 2, which is 5, because I teach math. So we have 4.2, right? So then 4.2 minus 1 is going to be 3.2. All right? And we'll get to the common fraction in a moment. Over here, we have 27 plus 2. 27 plus 2 is going to be 29 divided by 5. And so we're going to get 5.48, right? So then let's subtract. 9 minus 5.8 is going to be 3.2. So it doesn't matter either way which way you look at it. The greatest possible difference is going to be 3.2, but it needs to express it as a common fraction. So 3.2, well, 0.2 is fifths, right? So that's 3 and a fifth. So 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. So we get 16 fifths. And that is the answer. Is it quick?
Yeah. Do you already have the assignment for tomorrow? Because she won't be. Please, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. I'll just pause this. All right, so let's take a look at number 22. And 22 is kind of a problem that's trying to make it seem more difficult than it really is. Because personally, I find parentheses scary, and I know you do too. So we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 1. And so we have f of 3. Well, f of is actually just two groups of f of x, right? So really, we're just going to look at this piece here, and then we're going to look at this piece here. So, the red one first. So now we know this is going to be 3. So we're going to plug in 3 here. 3 squared is going to be 9 minus 1, which is 8. So then that leaves us f of 8, which is the orange part. So we have x squared minus 1, and it's going to be 8. So we have 64 minus 1, which is 63. Yeah. All right, not too bad at all. All right, the next problem, I'm going to slide it up because it's getting a little low on my screen. So if the sum of an arithmetic progression of 6 positive integer terms is 78, what is the greatest possible difference between consecutive terms? A little vocabulary. Arithmetic means linear. So in other words, the difference from one term to the next is going to be constant. So if our first term is x, then our second term is going to be x plus, oh, I don't know, say a. I don't like y's because the x's and y's look this is too close together, especially with bad handwriting, right? So then our third term is going to be x plus 2a, and we'll have x plus 3a. That's our fourth term. Our fifth term is x plus 4a, and our sixth term is x plus 5a. And we know all of these together, because it says sum, it's going to be 78. So how many x's do I have? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, because there's 6 terms. And I know that a 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15, so I have 15 a's, and I forgot the x. Luckily, x can be slipped in pretty easily. And that's equal to 78. Now, right away, I know that 6 and 5 both share a factor of 3. 7 plus 8 is 15, so 3 goes into that as well. So I can reduce this equation just to make life easy on us to 2x plus 5a is equal to 78. No, not 78. 78 divided by 3 is going to be 26. All right, and so looking at this, I know that my a value is going to have to be multiplied by 5, right? And so that means that this number, I need to, or whatever I substitute in for x here, I'm going to have to get something that is going to then be subtracted from 26 to get me a term that is divisible by 5. So like for instance, if I plugged in a 1 or 2, I would get, let's say 2. 2 times 2 is 4, subtract 4 from both sides, I get 22. 22 cannot be divisible by 5 to find a. So I know I have to have something, probably a 6, right? I mean, that would make sense. So 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm saying if x is equal to 3 plus 5a is equal to 26, so 5a is equal to 20, so a is equal to 4. Now, remember, it says the greatest possible difference. So clearly, I could also, plug in 8 here, right? If I plugged in 8 here, I'd get 16. 26 minus 16 is 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2, which is clearly less than 4. So this is the greatest possible difference I could have and meet this situation. All right, last problem. Problem A, B, and C have coordinates -4, 2. Oh, look, there's a grid. Let's plot the points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, and -1, 5. Oh, look, a triangle. And we are going to reflect across the y-axis. So that's going to mean I'm going to get a shape 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That now looks like this. All right, and I already know my base is going to be 2. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But for me to find the area of a triangle, I need the height. And I know that the orange and the purple lines are going to meet at the midpoint of that line, right? So I need to find that midpoint. Or if I really wanted to be ridiculous about it, I could find the equation of the lines and find the y-intercept, which actually isn't a half bad idea, quite frankly. But this is the faster way, and we want speed. So we know that, let's say that is -1, comma 5. This point here is going to be 1, comma, oh crap, it's -1, 2. This is going to be 1 comma 5. And so the midpoint occurs halfway in between my x values and my y values. So halfway between -1 and 1 and 0, right? Shocking! 2 and 5, halfway between 2 and 5 is, well, it's going to be 1.5 away from each, which that would be 3 and 1/2. So that means that this distance from here to here is going to be 1 1/2. Okay, well, I know that the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 base times height. And it's so much easier to keep things as in fraction form. So I know 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1. And then I'm going to have to multiply across, and I get 3 over 2. And it says answer expressed in the nearest tenth. Now, I would love to just say 3/2, but that's not expressed in the nearest tenth. Well, 3/2 is 1.5. And there's my answer.